What's up, witches? It's me, Luna. I've brightened my thing a little bit in the hopes you can see Pyewacket. Pyewacket? Hey, Pyewacket. Hi, baby. See? You can see his eyes. Hi, baby. He's been very needy today. How are you? How are y'all doing? I jumped on here to check in with you, and it's, because I need to check in with myself as well. So I have some suggestions for you to how to deal with it when your brain is jumping around like crazy. Let's do that first, and then we'll look at doing some readings later, just for us and our self care. I feel like we're in a lull right now, and you can really see where your mind is at when there's kind of a lull and sort of neutral stimulus. And if you're like me, my brain has been jumping around like the proverbial cat on a hot tin roof. I go between, okay, it's okay, everything's okay right now, and then reality lands, and my brain starts freaking out again. So I have spent the last 3 days making things that took a long, long time to make, because I find that if I'm working with my hands that way with some music on, puts me in right brain instead of left brain. And left brain doesn't have a lot to offer us right now because it doesn't. We're just hashing over. Well, I am just hashing over things, and what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Which brings me back to the reality, which then makes me freak out again. So here, when we are in under tremendous stress, we can go into escape mode. And unfortunately, what we're trying to escape from is the state of mind that we're in. But unfortunately, when we think about escape, what we tend to do is want to get entirely away, which means out, away from my body. So we kind of get into a dissociative state. It's sort of more in your mind, but a dissociated state of mind, if that makes sense. So, and that puts us in the most powerless place that we can be in. So I want to acknowledge what I was describing there is trauma brain. We are traumatized. I am traumatized. I betcha you are too. Interestingly, I've been watching subscribership kind of go down this week because people are checking out. They're like, I'm done. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to, I do not blame you. No judgment here whatsoever. But we are dealing with trauma, and I know it's taking me back to kind of pandemic days, and I'm already hermity, but I feel myself in that kind of duck and cover mode. So what can we do here? As I was saying, it's like the most unfunctional, let's call it that, unfunctional place to be. And our lives require us. They require us to function probably for other people, but we're required to function for ourselves first. We must take care of ourselves. We must. So, because we deserve the care, and we want to be able to bring our best to the world. And, we want to be able to help when we can help and act when it's time to act. So we have to take care of ourselves. So here's a way that you can think of that in terms of the elements. And witchcraft for me really has everything to do with that elemental wheel. That becomes my paradigm and my context for spell working, for pretty much everything. The elemental wheel is what I hang things on to organize the information, and to track it and to analyze it and to, integrate it, all of those things. So when we are trying to escape reality, and said this too many times lately, as Byron Katie says, when you argue with reality, you lose, but only 100% of the time. So we cannot take ourselves out of the reality we're in. Here we are. So how do I not abandon myself through this? So let's start with the body, being back in the body. And a lot of these things that I'm going to talk about are ways for um, that have been developed for like highly sensitive children, children with autism that are really sensitive to noise and can get easily overstimulated and overwhelmed just by their context, their situation. And so then behaviors can kick up. There can be shutdowns and meltdowns, and so these are things that are taught to help somebody kind of manage overwhelm, and that's you, and that's me. So we start with the body, which is Earth, top of the wheel, right? And we want to be in our body. So the thing that we need to do, first of all, is just sit and think about your body. Sit and bring your awareness down. How does my body feel? And you can do a body scan. But just noticing things like, and I do these when I take us through our guided groundings. I do these things. So what am I feeling? What's the temperature against my skin? How do my clothes feel? Is there any place that they're tight or itchy, or do they feel soft and warm and lovely? Do I already said temperature, but just textures and temperatures and things like that. How soft or hard is the surface you're sitting on? And if you want to take it a step further, you're really having trouble even doing that, then do something like go put your hands in hot water and then cold water, so that you are sensing, you are tapping into the sense of touch, which is earth. And or dry brushing. Dry brushing is a thing that can help move your lymph. It can help do all kinds of stuff. It stimulates your skin. Your skin is the largest organ of elimination in your body. Toxins are released through the skin. So when you stimulate that, you can stimulate the release of toxins. So like if you have a natural bristle bath brush and you just dry brush your skin, that can really do something to pull you into your body and into that element of earth. And I was going to say, do grounding meditation. There are so many, many, many. Before each of my live streams, we do a grounding meditation. There are many prayer circles and rituals in that playlist that you can do those meditations there. So I'm not going to do it now. These are just really practical, that we can do. Plus, when you do a meditation, you're kind of going into that, part of your brain. We don't want to do that right now. So, so there's that. Other things that you can do: eat something. Eat something with a strong flavor to it. That can really help you pull into your body. Okay, so then there's air. So other thing, I knew there was one. Just have you eaten? So that this is part of the check-in. Have I eaten today? Guess what? It's 10 after 1 and I have not. But that's a usual time for me, to eat 1:32 something. Anyway, have you eaten? Make sure that you're nourishing your body in that way. And if you don't find that you have an appetite, then something like bone broth or something like a nettles red raspberry leaf tea, which is nutritional as well, just to get nutrients into your body. All right. Then and we could talk about taking showers and baths too. Showers, especially that water hitting your skin. It's the stimulation on your skin. Of course, that sloshes over into the water, but so, but the earth, the body part, yes, bathing, but even more importantly, showering because of the stimulation to the skin, the sound, all of that. All right. Bath can contribute to sort of dissociating. Okay. Air. Are you breathing? How is your breath? Air is the element we can do without for the shortest amount of time. So really checking in with your air, checking in with, how easy is it to take in air? And when we get really tense, we tend to breathe in the upper chest, and that can make us feel breathless, and we don't release our breath all the way, and we keep taking in air, and then it's like, I can't get my breath. It's because you're not letting it out. So, tending to air, making sure that you exhale all the way. We'll give that little squeeze in the belly. Then relax your belly, take in air, see if you can feel your chest at the bottom of your rib cage, if you can feel it expand all the way around, out to the sides, right? Things that you can do to smell something good. burn some incense. Burn something that makes you, or go to a comfort smell. There's a my favorite incenses. I have Ganesh. That's what it is, Ganesh, and it's perfumes of like a spring mist or something like that, and it is the most delicious, fruity, so wonderful, and there's a lot of feelings that are associated with that. I have some amber incense that strong feelings are associated with. I have perfumes that I wore when I was in high school that will bring up a really strong vibe in me. So knowing that smell is like reptilian brain, and scents can have a strong emotional impact because of that. They hit us in a very primal place. So smells can be associated with trauma strongly, and they can also be associated with good things. Like, if I burn frankincense and myrrh, that's the smell of ritual, Even the next day, you walk into the room and, I smell ritual. So go to scents that are going to uplift you. You can do things if you're congested, if you're feeling congested at all, sinuses and lungs. Go get some thyme oil, essential oil. Make sure it's good essential oil. And put some drops in the bottom of a cup. You're not going to drink this, way too strong. Essential oils are seriously strong. But you pour boiling water and then make a little tent with your hand and go in slow. See how strong it is, because if you just go in like this, you could, feel like somebody blew the back of your head off. So just kind of go in, start breathing those fumes. You can open your mouth and breathe them in that way. You can breathe them in with a voice sound like, because that puts it in your voice box as well. And you will feel airways opening up. Thyme oil is incredible. It's antibacterial, antimicrobial, antifungal, antiviral. It's antispasmodic, so it helps with coughs and things. But that can help you really open up your airways. So the element of air is just to make sure that you are breathing and breathing consciously. So it might help you when you acknowledge that you're getting way out here, to just spend a few moments doing these things, checking in with your body, checking in with your air. I'm sure things will pop up if I forget them. Fire, which is at the bottom of the wheel. So air is in the east. Fire, I'm pointing that way because I know it's going to look like east to you. Fire in the south. So fire is the sense of sight. And so let's talk about light. Are you getting enough light? Are you getting daylight and sunlight? I hear a blimp. Can you guys hear that? You probably can't. That's, holy crap, wait. There goes, oh my God, that's life flight. Oh. Prayers, prayers, prayers. That's life flight, and they were hauling ass. Oh my God. Okay. So, anyway, it's your vision, it's your willpower. So this is the seat of your sense of empowerment or disempowerment, victimhood, So we need to take care of the light. We need to take care of the element of fire. And so knowing that light affects our entire system, I want to make sure you're in air, fresh air, open the window. Are you breathing fresh air? You know, or are you bottled up? So are you getting out into sunlight? And if you aren't, or if you get SAD, seasonal affective disorder, here's a therapy light. This was, so it's going to be really bright. Oh, it's not plugged in. Never mind. This was $20 on Amazon. The rules are 10,000 lumens. Make sure you see at what distance it's rated for those 10,000 lumens. I have to keep mine very close to me. 0 UV, and I don't know. I can't remember, but you need to do it within an hour of waking up in the morning. Start with 10 minutes a day and see how it affects you. If you can't sleep that night, you might be doing too much. But there's that, to feed your brain with light. And warmth. Are you warm? Are you, keeping yourself warm? Or are you neglecting that, and you're actually freezing, which makes you tense up? Or are you tensing up and that's what's making your hands and feet cold? So we want to check with heat, we want to check with light, things that you can do. I don't think you can see it because it's the ceiling, but I have my little spaceman guy that puts out the psychedelic lights up there in the ceiling. You'll notice that my altar is put to cycle through the spectrum. Those things my brain likes. My neurodivergent brain really likes spectrum and really likes a light show. So that can help me stay hooked into, my inner light, my vision. Also, just in terms of willpower, please, if you're really having a hard time doing anything, pick something small and reachable, and something that will bring you relief. And if you can push yourself through to do that, that's a big accomplishment, and that can bolster your will a little bit to get other things accomplished. All right. Water. This is our emotional body. How are you? I have not been able to cry except for that little bit on the video Wednesday morning. I have not been able to bust it loose, and I don't want to right now. But when I do decide to, I'm going for the prom episode of Buffy, because that will just make me sob my ass off. So, if you're in that place where you can't cry and you need to, do you have a movie that you watch that will always make you cry? And that's all we're doing, is priming the pump. All we're doing is getting the tears flowing. And once you're into that, then see how you can hook into your body, not the show, but here's my body, and hook into the grief that my body needs to release. So that I got ahead of things. So the first thing with the water element, are you drinking water? I need to. This is actually my second bottle for today. Are you staying hydrated? If you're having trouble, go get some Gatorade. It's loaded with sugar, yeah, but you can also get electrolyte drops that are amazing. I use one called Light Show, Lyte Show. And they don't taste as foul as some others, but a number of drops in a cup of water, and it can help you be hydrated. So we want to stay hydrated. Here we go with the bath, the soaks again too. But just to take care of yourself on that level. What do I need to feel? And also human connection. Do I need to just go and hug everybody in my family? Do we need to have a hug session? And to be clear about, I just need to be held for a while. Maybe you lie down on the bed, maybe you lie down on the couch and just hold and snuggle. If you don't have that, do this. I mean, just that. There is the body feels it. And I have Ehlers-Danlos, so I'm hypermobile. I don't know if you can get your hands around as far as I can, but get them around as far as you can, and hold yourself. Open-handed, hold yourself. This is another one. Putting your hands, your face in your hands. It's a thing we do when we experience trauma. Oh no, it's a self-soothing thing. So you can do that. um, Epsom salts soaks. Get yourself some Epsom salts. If you don't keep Epsom salts in your house, do it. Don't go, I mean, you can, but if you go to the bath spot, you're going to get all of the ones that have all kinds of scents and lavender and rosemary and peppermint. Whoever thought taking a peppermint bath was a good idea? I hate it. But you can get that. They're very expensive. They can be very expensive, and there's a lot of fragrance. You might not like that. Go to the like first aid aisle, where everything that deals with like pain and joints and that, and you'll get big bags of pure Epsom salts for a lot less money. But an Epsom salts bath, if you're tense, if you're hurting, just go get in that bath and soak. It does wonders. It absolutely does wonders. So therapeutic soaks can help you there. And then spirit in the middle. What am I going to say? You know what I'm going to say. Do your devotional work. Just do some mantras. You don't have to, people think about ritual. When you're in a really bad way, you can't think about doing ritual. It's like a job, So the ritual can just be the meditation of grounding, but it can just be sitting down and chanting a mantra, There's a wonderful, if you look under my playlists, there is a playlist for the Mantra Oracle. And I looked up the music that they mention in the book wherever I could find it. It's on that list. But there's a one on there about I'm a perfect being of light. And it's I'm a perfect being of light. I have the power to live my life. And it's very powerful. It's like 7 minutes. Just put that on and sing along with it. So putting things through the voice, that's part of the element of spirit. Sound is the element of spirit. So we have earth, that's touch. Air, that's scent. Fire, sight. Water, taste. And you go, water, taste, what's that? If your mouth is absolutely dry, your taste buds don't work. So water is taste. Spirit is hearing. So listen to music that makes you feel whole. Listen to music that has a vibe that takes you, to a good place. I'm going to put a little bit more on. And pray. Whatever that means to you. If it's a mantra, if it's a heartfelt prayer. I find, though, that if you're in overwhelm and you're trying to, get yourself back together again, mantra can be a wonderful thing because it really takes you away from this brain that's losing its shit and into something more holistic. And you're also just creating a vibration that is highly beneficial, not just for you, but for everything. So, spirit, do your devotion, work your magic. But, working magic, like when you're in crisis, can actually make you start thinking about the thing that you're trying to get away from, So the reason that you're in crisis, because you're trying to fix that thing. So I would not recommend that for helping to get yourself out of overwhelm and out of crisis. I would say just do some mantra. Do some mantra. When you chant, particularly like Sanskrit mantras, Buddhist mantras, if something's in a different language, your left brain kind of goes quiet. And it's like you are stepping into a flowing river of frequency of that mantra. And that river consists of every chant, every time someone has chanted that mantra from the beginning of time. You can't, when a bell is rung, it keeps ringing. The vibrations just keep going and activating other vibrations. It never truly goes away. So you are becoming part of this great river and this great flow. So I would heartily recommend that as well. Now I'm thinking I might just do readings as a separate thing. So, because I know that there are people that just don't want to know. But no, I am going to do it for this because it's readings for us. So on the heels of what we've just been talking about, let's grab, I'm going to grab the robin wood first. And we're going to ask just about, tell us about self-care. Tell us about what we need to do for ourselves so that we can remain functional, so that we can respond at appropriate times and appropriate ways, so that we can eventually, so that we can reintegrate. So think about the term disintegrate. When you are in overwhelm and escape mode, it's like you disintegrate, everything splits off and you lose access. So doing elemental work, something that's around the elements that takes you through each facet of yourself like that, can be reintegration. And that is actually like my number one of what is the function of ritual, and it is integration. It's to bring all parts together to reintegrate. Okay. So what do we need to do? Oh, here, you know what? Just going to say, guides and guardians, allies and ancestors, come on in. We've already burned some sacred smoke. Do my little ritual here. And let's ring a bell. We haven't burned sage, but my sage is kind of all burned up in there, and it's okay. And that shows you how kind of overwhelmed I am. My husband came up this morning and said he's going to go over and visit a friend, and I'm like, sure, that's okay. And I said, what day is today? Is it Monday? Is it Sunday? And there have been days when I've had to actually look at my phone, and yeah, wow, okay. That was a little message. That was King of Swords, Four of Pentacles, and Death. All right, so I am asking about us individually and our welfare. How do we take care of ourselves in this period of time where we're kind of waiting to see, waiting for something to shift? And I don't think I talked about this. No, I didn't. On November 19th, which is next Tuesday, a week from tomorrow, Pluto goes back into Aquarius. And it's weird because I did put up the chart, but it's for Kent, where I live, and the time is 3:39:39. So that's ringing my bell real hard. But I really feel that this shift back into Aquarius is when we're really going to start seeing something happen here. That same day, we have a Sun-Uranus opposition. So yeah, we could really be seeing some rocking and rolling here, or at least some shifts happening, some information. And then on the 25th, 26th is when Mercury stations retrograde. We're in the shadow right now. We went into the shadow on the 7th. So shadow periods can sometimes be harsher than the actual retrograde because it's a preview. The whole retro is happening in Sagittarius. It starts on November 25th or 6th, depending on where you are. And it stations direct again on December 16th. So yippee for that, So things are when Mercury goes retro, it can cause a revision of what has happened since the last retro period, which is a lot. So the 19th and the 25th, 26th is when I think we're going to finally see some things playing out. Okay, let's go back here. This is for us. What do we need to do? Okay. It's so funny because I have to shift myself back. When I hit record and the camera's on, I'm in Leo mode. I'm in performance mode. So I can be up here and it's very stimulating. And even if I'm fatigued, you see me acting like this. And then, you know, um, so I have to get myself back into my body and shift into reading mode from performance mode. Wow. See what's popping out first here? Oh my God. Wow. Whew. And there's the Four of Pentacles again. And the King of Swords. Wow. All right. So here we are. Heartbroken and shutting down. Going back to nicer times. I want to be a kid again and have somebody take care of me, and but just trying to remember happier times. Look at how she's looking this way, but she's got the blindfold on. So I'm looking to the past. Even though she's pointed towards the future, it's the blindfold and the childhood thing that she's turning away from this. I don't want to feel the heartache I'm feeling. And I want to look to the past for happier memories. We've got Four of Pentacles in the center that we are hanging on to ourselves as hard as we can, you know, and also hanging on to resources because things could get very expensive very fast, very shortly. So we want to look to making sure we've got resources stored up as much as we possibly can. I know that's an impossibility for some of us. We're hand to mouth. So the warning here, though, is in the middle. This shows us we're in clamp down. We're in this mode. There's anger moving towards the past here. There's get me the fuck out of here. Why I oughta. All of those things. But on the other side is the sun. So this is our empowerment. This is our ability to see clearly, to feel joy. And it's hard. I know there are some right now that are struggling so very hard with fear. Certainly. My state went red. All red. We lost Sherrod Brown, a senator that we've had for a long time, Democratic senator, amazing. And so, there's a lot of people that are struggling very hard. And you see these things going across, don't let them steal your joy. Don't let them steal your joy. Too late. They done it. But still, in spite of, this is what I've been talking about, something that is going to take you maybe to a place that is a happy place for you. You've got to give yourself some relief. You're not going to do anyone any favors by constantly being in outrage mode. And, I have to say, I kind of got pissed off at some of the channels that I watch. I haven't been watching anything really, but I clicked on Brian Tyler Cohen because he's a reputable source. And he was talking about something, and then he started, because he does these outrage things, and it's like, Brian, shut the fuck up. We're exhausted. So the sun really does say, for your own health and sanity, where are you in your life today? We're all throwing ourselves into a horrendous future in our minds. So this is to say, where are you today? What can you take joy in today? What can I say? I look around at my surroundings, my family. What can you be grateful for and find joy in today? Whew. And look at this, King of Swords, Knight of Cups, and the Empress in the middle. Well, the Empress is women. It's also, when I'm talking about us and our self-care, this is nurturing. She is the mother. So we have to find that mother in us. And if we are the mother that's nurturing everybody else, we need to make sure we have some coming to us. If we are the one that's always been nurtured, by someone else, we need to take some of that on for ourselves so that we can give back. King of Swords coming under Knight of Swords here. This can really look like, just rigid lockdown. This is inflexibility of mind. Okay, let's see here. The Knight of Cups talks about taking action emotionally to, again, looking at how emotions can flow. This guy, I always call him the bastard or the motherfucker, because he's that, my dad, just, that thundercloud type of personality, male or female. It can be mental rigidity. It can also be truth. I mean, look at that upraised sword. We've got these, look at these down pointing swords. These are the ones coming at us. And then there's upraised swords happening here. Let's take a final. Death. Okay. So this is what we're grappling with. This is what we must come to terms with here, is the death of hope, first of all. The momentum that we had, the joy that we felt in July, that groundswell of joy and light, and it was just so momentous and so huge, and then it just got crushed. And we need to grieve. There's been a death in the family. And whether or not it's the final say, because it's not, but you know what? There is something that has come to a final end. The many cards of change in the major arcana, death is final change, never ever going back. So there are some things here that we will never go back to. That sense of optimism, that sense of trust, that sense of trust. How can we have... And I mean, we do know things are fishy, but there's something that has died, and it is up to you to identify that in yourself of what is it that I'm grieving here, because we're in grief, and we need to acknowledge what is it that's gone for good. And, I'll never again, whatever, but there is a death here. They're telling me to take two more. We've got the Page of Swords and we've got the Four of Rods. Okay, so this is talking about, there's no rods. Look, all we had were swords and cups, you guys. Pentacles in the middle, which is the physical. So this is saying, physically we are locked down. We don't have things flowing. We're clamping. We're tight arse right now, if you will. Who wouldn't be? But Page of Swords is looking for inspiration somewhere. Pema Chodron has always been one of my go-tos. I haven't gone to her yet, but when things fall apart is my primo, and the places that scare you is my number 2. Start Where You Are is number 3. You can find these at the library or online or whatever, but find sources of inspiration to help you change your frame of mind. Do things with people. Do things with people. I think I want to do, okay. So this has that element of standing your ground, standing firm, being who I am. But look at, this is like, I'm not letting anybody in. This is a healthy boundary set. So another thing we need to do is set some healthy boundaries. And rather than this, this night of anger is saying, here's where I draw the line. Okay. So that's what I'm looking at the Ace of Swords as here. Just looking at where we draw the line. Also new beginning because of what's cut away. So one of the things you can do right now, just to keep yourself occupied, is, get rid of shit. Unload, lighten your load. Why are you keeping that? Why are you storing that? Lighten your load, be brutal, get rid of it. So many people can benefit from what you decide to donate. And when you donate things, it creates that flow, and what you need comes back in. You can put things up for sale, sure, but in the middle here is we've got this kind of grasping. And the warning that comes with that Four of Pentacles is when you grasp, things don't flow. So while we need to shore up our resources, we also need to make sure that money is flowing where it needs to flow. And donating some things can be a great way to help us bring in some of the things that we actually need. All right. All right, you guys. I think I'm going to leave it there. You know what I meant? Oh, well, next time. But I hope that helped you in some small way. I will be throwing in and doing some unboxings because here's another deck I just got. Yeah, used, 16 bucks. Just to, you know, that's my happy place too. And hopefully you'll be down with that as well. I really appreciate you guys being here, and I'll see you next time. Till then, I love you. Blessed be.